Hello Guardians, it is Ebontis here. It is August 7th, Friday, it is Xur Day. We are up here in Watcher's Grave, and we are here for Nessus. Let's see what he's got. Had a good podcast this morning, by the way. If you guys didn't catch it, we recorded the Last Word episode number 115 this morning on my Twitch channel. I'll get the video up later, so if you aren't subbed to the channel, make sure you guys do that. We are close to 50k subs on my YouTube channel. Thank you guys for the support. It's been fantastic. If you haven't subbed yet before, always lots of Destiny fun content coming to you. So if you haven't subbed before, sub and hit that alert bell, and let's see what this man is selling today. I don't even know if he's a man, just tentacle face is all I got. So here we go. Alright, so quick reminder, your exotic engram, remember it is a random exotic from stuff that you don't own already. If you do own every exotic that can be, given in this exotic engram, it's going to give you a random piece of armor, which does have a chance of good stat roll. So if you got nothing else to go for, dump some shards into this one and see if you can get something. So let's see what he's selling, break it down one by one. First thing we've got is the Merciless. Now, this is a long time coming. This is, I think, literally from year one, almost the Red War expansion. It's been in the game for 3 years now. Perk here is Conserve Momentum. Non-lethal hits with projectiles make this weapon charge faster until its wielder gets a kill. Cool thing about that is it's got 8 in the magazine. So if you don't get a kill on the first shot, then the second, it goes faster. Third, goes faster. I think it finally hits diminishing returns around like 5. But by the time those last 3 shots come out and you're pumping damage into probably like a boss, you're pumping out a lot of damage. Now, unfortunately, this thing isn't like topping the meta anymore for PvE boss burning or anything like that. It used to be good. Maybe someday again it will. So if you don't own this thing already, make sure you buy it. But it is kind of fun to use. Definitely if you got some, heavier enemies, some bosses you're working on, and you just want to dump like 8 fusion rifle shots faster and faster into something, it does a pretty good job of melting some things. So if you don't own it and you've never used it before, toy with it. See if you have some fun. The other perk is Impetus. Reloading immediately after a kill increases weapon damage for a short time. So if you do get a kill and you have another big target to get, you can put out even more damage. So in theory, it is actually a pretty fun gun to use. I think it's either been nerfed or changed, or it's just not in the state that it was before. But other than that, it is quite a bit of fun to use. So definitely consider trying this one if you haven't before. If nothing else, add it to your collection, toy around with it for a day, and throw it in the vault. For the hunters, we've got the Gemini Jester. Perk here is pretty specific. Misdirection. Dodging disorients nearby enemies and temporarily removes their radar. Now, that doesn't sound like it's going to do a lot in PvP, PvE. It's really not going to do a ton for you. But the idea here is for hunters. You're going to be close to somebody. Maybe you get in punching range. You punch and you dodge. You disorient them and remove their radar. They don't know if they're behind you, if you're above them. If you're in a one-on-one and you can dodge next to somebody and just kind of throw them off just enough, that's definitely going to throw them for a loop. And it can have some uses. Now, is it probably the most effective thing in the world? Probably not. It takes a little more close encounters fights. If you're playing far away, it may not be your playstyle. But overall, if you do get on those close encounters and you dodge and you remove that other guardian's radar, they're going to be a little thrown off for a second, especially for many of us who are probably very dependent on the radar. Nice thing about this is we've got 65 stats over here. Pretty good roll. Mobility is 11, which is, an important stat for hunters, so it's not complete trash. Discipline actually being pretty high is not a bad thing. Strength is okay, but just a 65 stat roll on an exotic already, and it doesn't just suck in mobility. If you've got a better Gemini Jester, maybe, but I'd probably have to wager not a lot of us do. So if you want to get a Gemini Jester, stick it in the vault. Hold on to this one, but toy around with a couple dodges near people in PvP. See if it has any effect for you. Might be cool. Next one we've got is the Peregine Greaves. These are for the Titans. This is a popular one. It was God tier at one point when it was almost broken. It's been a little fixed. All shoulder charge abilities, Seismic Strike, Hammer Strike, and Shield Bash, deal bonus damage when activated in the air. Now, I don't know if you can shoulder charge someone in their super. I think you might be able to, but don't hold me to that. But the idea is your shoulder charge is going to do more damage when you're in the air. So if you can be airborne even just a little bit before you shoulder charge an enemy, you're going to do a crap ton more damage and definitely make these worth it. So if you enjoy shoulder charge at all, throw them on. And especially if you're running around in PvP right now in Iron Banner, for example, those shoulder charges that sometimes don't kill people. Well, if you get just like, half a foot off the ground and then shoulder charge, you'll kill people no matter what power level they are. Stats over here, 64, also not bad. Mobility at 15, not the favorite. I would much rather see strength be the high stat roll here. It's only at 8. Resilience being low, recovery being high, intellect, it's not the worst roll in the world, but as I much would love to see the mobility move down to strength because it is based on your melee abilities. Kinda wish, but again, they're random rolls, so what are you going to do? But overall, 64, 17 in intellect, you got recovery. I've seen definitely worse stats on this one, so check your stats on your Peregine Greaves that you got. This one might be better. Finally, for the Warlocks, we've got the Nezerac Sin. This one, pretty straightforward. Void damage kills, increased ability energy recharge rate. Pretty straightforward. Now, the nice thing is this also counts for weapons. It doesn't specifically say that, but void damage. Doesn't say void ability, so it could be a weapon, heavy weapon, grenade, super. All of those things will increase ability energy recharge rate. So you're going to be getting your abilities back quicker all the time, especially if you're using void weapons. Now, you may not always be using void weapons, but if you have a void build at all, this is a pretty good one. Now, you've also got Discipline sitting at 17, Intellect sitting at 10, Strength at 6 is okay, but Resilience at 15, 65 and 64 stat rolls across the board today. Check your exotics in your vault. If you're like, I got a pretty good one, these might be better. 65 stat roll is definitely nothing to bat an eye at, especially just being sold at a vendor. These are fairly high. So if you enjoy Void for your Warlock at all, consider this one. It might be one, especially if you're running Gnawing Hunger a lot right now. I mean, that's void damage everywhere you go. So consider this one. Get your abilities back faster, chunk more grenades, and then you get your grenades back faster. It's kind of a nice cycle. So Nezerac Sin, pretty good. All pretty awesome stat rolls here this week, actually. So if you like any of these, consider, check what you got. Might be better. Well, that's about it for Tentacle Face today. So good stat rolls across the board. Merciless, it's a very old weapon. Probably needs a little love again to be brought up and be relevant. Overall, still kind of fun. As I said, we did record the Last Word podcast this morning. Actually, I had a blast. We were talking about kind of our continued, like, the reissue of Hawkmoon debate, and then obviously Solstice of Heroes and the grind that's involved there. So check that one out. It's going to be an audio and video. Video will come to the channel a little bit later. And of course, if you guys haven't subbed to the channel yet, as I said, we are close to 50K. So if you haven't subbed before, please do hit the sub button and the alert bell. You guys can find me on Twitch and Twitter, streaming Ghost of Tsushima, maybe Horizon Zero Dawn. Can't really figure out what I'm going to play this weekend. And of course, if you enjoyed the video, drop a like below, leave a comment if you want to say anything, including hello, and I'll see you soon. Have a good one. Enjoy your weekend.